Then within the realm of the writing, there's a whole range of topics, subject matters, and the idea there is to realize that everything is an expression of the divine, and everything is an expression of God, and everything that's happening in this moment, as I often say, whatever's happening, that's what's happening. And to fully embrace it, and to engage in it, and to dance with it, and to play with it, work with it, whatever is necessary, but the point, whatever metaphor you want to use, but the point is, that's how you're going to have a life of fulfillment and meaning and purpose and inspiration, is to engage fully in this moment right now. So the book shows you, exemplifies different aspects of life that may not seem so spiritual or holy or lofty. So we have the full range of experience, from the most ethereal to the most primal, from the most erudite to the most crude. And we can see that whatever's happening, whatever aspect is arising in this moment, that we can embrace that, whatever it is, and not judge it as, or separate it as good or bad, or evil, or right or wrong. And through that, we discover the big glow that's shining within us and has been shining in us all along. And that's how we become more present. And becoming more present to the moment, we can engage life right now in a much deeper way.
So Brian, in your book, you speak a lot about nature, a lot about traveling, the nature of human beings, as well as earthly nature. How have you been so inspired?
Yeah, so nature, as we can see here, is a wonderful source of inspiration. And it's been a great source of inspiration to me. And it's a great way to be brought back into the moment. When you're in nature, you see there's so much beauty all around you, but you can lose sight of it if you're lost in your head and you're lost in the future, or you're lost in the past. But when you're present, you see, my goodness, there's so much around me right now, so many beautiful things, such a sense of amazement and wonder and miraculousness, and it's everywhere. It's a bountifulness, it's an abundance. There's trees, plants, rocks, red rocks, mountains, lizards, birds, hawks, eagles, buffaloes. I mean, depending on where you live, of course. But wherever you live, there's beauty, and there's beauty that resonates with that particular part of the world and that particular geography and topography. So, and it can be the smallest, simplest things. In the book, I write about epiphanies I had with the smallest thing. Tasting a blackberry, or all of a sudden seeing a hummingbird. And the smallest things can bring you to that sense of awakening to the moment and to your own essence, and brings a stillness into the moment, where you realize that this moment in itself is full and complete. And so those little moments awaken you, but then the realization is that perspective, that perception, is within yourself. And so that's possible in every moment, because there's only this moment. There's only the now. There's never a time when it's not the now. I mean, if you think about it, have you ever been a time when it wasn't right now? No. So it's always available right now, whatever situation you're in. You could be in prison, you could be in a negative relationship, you could be in a job you don't like, but through fully embracing the moment, your senses become alive, and you can handle that situation in a direct way by fully embracing it and fully engaging it. So nature, however, is a great way to kind of awaken to that potential, and then that next step is realizing that that's there all the time. The reason it's there all the time is because it's within you and it's within me. It's within us. It's not a thing out here. It's a way of seeing the world.
So Brian, you've been promoting your book for a little while now. It's been getting great reviews. For the people that you've met, who was the most memorable in relation to how your book affected them?
I don't know if there's one most memorable necessarily, but I do get a lot of emails and letters from people, and it's definitely gratifying to see the way that it's transformed them. And it's funny, oftentimes they write in a very beautifully poetic way. Their responses was triggered by something in the book. So and I've had that experience myself too. So I know how inspiration feeds inspiration, and it's written back. But so they write in this beautiful, flowing, poetic way, and they write about how it's opened their hearts, it's opened them to see the world in a deeper and more rich way, to be more alive, to be more present, to be more vital. And a lot of times it's in a way that's difficult to express or to verbalize. They're right that it's a way that's difficult to express or verbalize, which I totally resonate with. It is a way that's difficult to express or verbalize. So ultimately, it's a way that's beyond words. It's because words are dualistic. Words, when you're talking about something, means you're not talking about something else. But what we're talking about encompasses all and not all. Everything and nothing at the same time. So it almost renders you speechless when you really get into the depths. It's almost a sense of there's nothing really to say, which is why I often feel like what I do is kind of a big joke, because there's a sense of speechlessness where all you can really do is sort of laugh. But, however, you can express words and you can verbalize things in a way that's not it. As Eckhart Tolle would say, the words are like pointers. So they're not it, but they can point you. Some words can point you in closer than other words can. And the more that you become gifted with a particular language or particular words, you can point people in a way a little bit closer than some other words were. But the final step, the final leap is just that. It's a leap. It's like jumping off a cliff, and it's not in a sentence. It's not in a word. But every word or any word can point to it if it's with the right intention and the clarity of intention and purpose behind it and a purity.
How has it changed your life being able to have this book and to go and show people and to share it with the world? How has that affected you in your journey?
Well, I'm at the very beginning of the longer journey. There's an intuitive sense that it's just the very beginning, and there's so much more yet to come. But it makes a big difference, and that's kind of the essence of what I am advocating, is to live in alignment with your heart. So you live in a way that the way you make your income, your livelihood, your relationships, the way you spend your day, the activities you're engaged in are all in alignment with the deepest sense of your heart. And that was a realization for me that I wasn't living in that way, and that was that I felt called to be living that way. And so when you start to put these things into alignment in an integral way, it makes a huge difference. It's the difference. It's the difference, and that affects every aspect of your life. That affects the light that you're radiating out into the world. You can see somebody, you can say, well, they're in alignment, they're integrated, and they're here and they're present, and they're fully alive and they're fully living from their deepest sense of authentic self, from the authentic sense of self that shares their gifts and their unique individuality. So to be able to do that is, all I can say is that it's living in a whole other way, and I would recommend it to anyone.